All right, so we'll call the meeting to order. We are fortunate to have Luke here as our speaker today, who's going to do our prayer for us. So if you would please stand.
Almighty and ever good God, thank you for gathering us here this afternoon to try to better our community and the people around us. Thank you for the beautiful weather and for the food that we were able to eat. We just ask that you're with us throughout this whole meeting to guide us and to always stay on you in all we do. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. All right, and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And the four-way test, which is on the agenda. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial for all concerned? Okay, you may be seated. Thank you. Okay, do we have any happy dollars today? Mark Greco.
Yes. I'm putting up the happy dollar because I'm happy my daughter has come from Australia to stay with us. Whoa!
Hey.
I don't have nothing else.
All right, any other happy dollars? Don Marshall?
I know you're not supposed to use hearsay in court, but this ain't court, so. Maybe you want I'm passing it along because I was asked to. A person told me that she and, it's a learning experience, that she and two others were drinking at the last second Friday, and all of a sudden, someone came and took the table. And I said, well, what time was it? She was after 9. I said, well, we do pick up tables. She was standing there, and they said, we need the table, and was gone. I said, well, I'll pass it along. So they would stand there with their drinks in their hand and no table, and they felt a little dismissed, but it's not the worst thing in the world. So just so you know, I don't know how to correct it or how to make people, but okay. Get the box.
Okay, thanks, Don. Any other happy dollars today? Shannon?
I was contacted by Sally Sandlinick for the food pantry. She came and spoke recently. They are in need of a backup, and she is reaching out to Rotary first. The situation is that they have the pantries on the first and third Thursday of every month from 2 to 5. Somebody usually takes a large pickup truck or a trailer to Giant Eagle and picks up the gallons of milk as well as the meat. And then they bring it back to the distribution site and they stay there and help hand it out, etc., etc. The person that used to do it, unfortunately, passed away. They have somebody that is doing it right now, but there is no backup anymore. So she is reaching out to see if anybody that can physically move a crate with 4 gallons of milk and would have a truck or a trailer would be willing to serve as a backup to help out for the distributions. So like I said, the person that is doing it is doing a great job and loves it, but if anything comes up with family, they're sick, or they go out of town, there's nobody else to help out. When you bring the truck there, you just back it into Giant Eagle, and other people come to help load it. You're not in charge of that whole thing. It's really just finding somebody that has the vehicle and the time to be able to serve as a backup. So she wanted to reach out to Rotary if there's anybody that is interested or a couple of people that are interested. I was thinking what we could possibly do is come up with 3 or 4 people, and if she calls me and says, hey, we're going to need a backup for this week, then we have 3 people that we can call to lean on. So she said, don't feel obligated. You absolutely can say no, but I wanted to bring it to you guys to ask you. So if you're interested, come see me.
Okay, thanks, Shannon. Shannon, you can put me on that list. I have a truck and I'm able. So if anybody else wants to be a backup, maybe just let Shannon know then. Okay, and so last week I forgot to do the song. Mark didn't talk to me for an entire week. So this week we have an entire rendition of Freebird. So anyway, okay, Mark, this is your time here.
All right, great. Hey,
I know probably all of you were tuned in last night to the seventh inning stretch of the baseball's All-Star game, but we're gonna replay that. They're in Philadelphia last night. They sang "God Bless America," the whole stadium standing up. So let's honor America as we continue to honor America. God bless America. On 4, 2, 3, 4.
God bless America,
Land
that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home.
One more time.
God bless America, my home sweet home. Okay, thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Rob.
All right, we have, I think, a lot of guests today, so who wants to go first? Yeah, Joni.
I would like to introduce my oldest son, Matthew Jansen. He came up from Dover and helped his mom today, so let's
Okay, Jim.
Joe, would you please stand up? Thank you. This is Joe Klobuchar. Joe and I met 4 weeks ago on a phone call because he's a flag customer, and I'd like to let him introduce where he's retired from and what he's interested in. Go ahead, Joe.
I was just here to check this place out, just to get to know a little bit more about the Rotary Club, to see what kind of social organization or what kind of thing you do to come in the community. My name is Joseph Klobuchar. I'm retired. I was a physician assistant. I worked in mental health and addiction. Spent a lot of time between Garfield Heights, where my parents lived, and my wife, who's a resident since she was a little girl. So we currently live in that house. I'm retired. What was it? We're not supposed to add here to this?
Thank you, Joe.
That's good
All
enough.
right, thanks, Joe. Good to have you today. Okay, who else? Cynthia. Oh.
Let's give him mental health.
He's retired, Jen.
Yeah, leave him alone. Leave him alone. All right, Cynthia.
My guest is Alex Kapur, and I think most all of you know him. He has helped us out, and was at our dinner, and did the wonderful prayers, and so we love him.
I have a guest today, Diane Johnson, in front of me. Is one of my librarians at the public library. She was a librarian at the school for many, many years. Your kids and grandkids probably had her. And when she retired, we said, what if you think about part-time retirement? And she agreed. So she's worked for us for a couple years now. So thanks for coming, Diane. Okay, a couple of quick things. We have Third Friday coming up. Do you want to talk? Okay, Cynthia's going to talk.
This Friday, everybody. Please show up. Everything is a go. There's a few adjustments that had to be made since we switched it, but and I don't want to hear any yakety yak because we had to switch it because we had checked all the weather reports. It was 80% chance of rain at 4 or 5 o'clock, 60% at 7 o'clock. And we have a huge expense in the bands, in the stage, and the lighting, and the blah, blah, blah. And they were able to switch, so we did it. And I think everything is fine. The vendors, there's just a couple that couldn't show up, but that's fine. The farmer's market is all a go, so we will need help. The street will close at 3. The food vendors will set up like about 3:30, and the farmer's market will also set up, and you can put the Rotary tent up at 3 o'clock. And these were all donated to us, about 100 of them, and so we will have them at the table and sell them for $2, and which will go into our treasury. And then I also have 100 flags, small flags from Metzger's that can be handed out free. And somebody that handed them out last time suggested that they want the flag cards. So I also have a couple hundred of those flag cards. When they hand them to the kids, they can hand the flag card to the adult and say, how about buying a flag? So, any other questions about Second Friday education?
I was talking with Shannon about it, and us three usually helped out with putting the tables up and taking them down.
Right.
We are not gonna be letting that night. We may have other issues,
So we need more help.
we're gonna need more help for that.
I can help put up, but I have to be out of my house at 5 a.m. on Saturday, so.
I mean, whoever's around, just come and help and tear down. Another thing we do have to remember, because I also heard complaints about the tables, because like the food vendors pay to be there. And they are scheduled to be there till 10. So we have to be a little bit, you know, if they're selling food and people are standing there eating and whatever. So we have to think about everybody that's involved, because like I said, all those food vendors do pay to be there. And so they like to be serving food till 10 o'clock. So we have to appreciate everybody that's helping us out and working really hard that night. So thank you.
Okay, thanks, Cynthia. Rick, did you have a question?
Rob,
No, yeah.
I'd like to recognize Cynthia, right? She has,
Oh, sit down.
Cindy, I think she needs a rowdy round of applause.
All right. All right, so in July, there's a couple of changes. There's a few evening meetings going on in July for the 4th and 5th Wednesdays. They are on your calendar here on the agenda. First is we have an evening meeting with Jen White. She will be talking about conservation and gardening, that kind of stuff. That will start at 5:30, and then on the same evening, there is a Rotary car show at Gervasi Vineyards from 5 to 8. So if you'd like to do both, you can, but of course we want you to come to the meeting as well. And then the following Wednesday is our social, so there's no speaker that night. It'll be at Bud's Corner at 5:30, okay? And then, good, I'm glad, okay, glad we like that. And then one last thing, in August, if you saw in the Rotary newsletter, there's a polio fundraiser for Rotarians wanting to go to a Guardians game. That's on August 19th. If you want to go to that, it's in your newsletter. You can click and register and buy tickets online. Okay, a couple other things. Yeah.
I teach at the middle school, and we've had Kindness Day for the last 4 or 5 years. Last year, I've been able to bring my class to the Rotary Barn, the Flag Barn, and they've done a great job of wouldn't be beneath my wings. They've done a great job of explaining the Rotary message, of explaining patriotism, of including the kids to help set up flags and stuff like that. So I really appreciate the impact they've made, on my class and my students and the community. So thank you very much, and I appreciate you having me here today.
Thanks. Okay, and we have Randy's going to give us an update on the amphitheater.
Good afternoon. Yesterday, Andy Tarosky met with Hammondtree for how many times? I don't know, a bunch. There's a couple little things that need to be adjusted on the bid package. The bid package for the amphitheater is over 150 pages, the actual book itself, which is incredible. Andy said the fire station wasn't that many pages, so there's a lot of moving parts to get it done. The schedule right now is to put the bid out, public bid, July 30th. And then on August 20th, the bids should all be in. We have to advertise this in the repository and a couple other public publications, if you will. And then once the bids are all in on around the 20th of August, the city council, the meeting the first week of September, will do the appropriate voting and so on and so forth to award the contractor. And once that's done, they can start moving forward. Probably looking at so August 20th, September 6th, probably looking at November before it's completed. But it's because of the federal guidelines and the federal rules and regulations that have to be followed when you get federal money. That's why it's taken so long. But that's the story. Any questions? Thank you.
Thanks, Randy. Okay, Tristan, would you like to introduce Luke today?
Yeah, this is my good friend Luke. He is outside of the Diocese of Youngstown. He's studying to become a Catholic priest. I invited him to speak.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for inviting me to be here today. It is truly an honor to speak to a group whose mission has been centered around serving others for so many years. The Rotary's motto, service above self, is one that has always stood out to me because it reflects a value that is also at the heart of the Christian life. Whether you're a Rotary Club member, a teacher, a parent, a volunteer, or a priest, we're all called to use our gifts not just for ourselves, but for the good of others. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Luke Liptak. I am a seminarian for the Diocese of Youngstown, studying at Borromeo College Seminary in Wycliffe, and I also go to John Carroll University. This summer, I've been assigned to St. Isidore Parish here in Louisville, as well as three other parishes in addition that are in Alliance and Sebring. It's been a wonderful summer so far, and I'm grateful for the chance to get to know so many people throughout these communities. One of the questions that I often get asked the most is, why did I decide to become a seminarian? Well, the truth is, I didn't just wake up one morning with all the answers. Like many vocations, it has very much been a journey. I grew up in a very Catholic family, and I started serving Mass when I was in about third grade or so. And being an altar server gave me a front row seat to the beauty of the Mass and the ministry of the priest. Even as a kid, there was a small thought in the back of my mind that maybe God was calling me to do something like that. As I got older, though, life got busy. I played sports, spent time with friends, and like many teenagers, there were many times when my faith wasn't my highest priority. But I did indeed found God, as I found out that God has a way of patiently calling us back. The more involved I became in my parish, the more I began asking myself what God wanted me to do with my life. After talking with my pastor at the time, who happens to be Father Sabula right here, and our vocation director, and I spent a lot of time in prayer and reflection, I realized that I didn't have to know exactly where the road would end, that I just had to be willing to take the next step. That's why I entered seminary, not because I knew with certainty that I would become a priest, but because I wanted to honestly discern whether that was what God's plan for my life was. People are often surprised when I tell them that seminary isn't just simply priest school. Seminary is really a place of discernment. We pray together, attend classes, celebrate Mass, study together, play sports, and we learn how to serve God's people. It's also where we grow as men. We learn leadership, communication skills, and how to build meaningful relationships. If someone discovers that God is calling them to do something other than the priesthood, that's a successful discernment as well. The goal of seminary isn't just becoming a priest, it's discovering what God's will in your life is. One of the things that gives me the most hope is seeing young people rediscovering their faith. Sometimes we hear that Gen Z has completely left religion behind, but in my experience, that has not been the case. At seminary, on college campuses, and in the parishes where I've been able to serve at, I've met many young adults who are searching for something deeper. They've grown up in a world that feels that's more connected through technology than ever before, yet many feel isolated and are looking for purpose in a genuine community. And the church offers something that no app or social media platform can provide. It offers real relationships, a place to belong, and the hope that comes from knowing we're loved by God. I've seen young people returning to Mass in record numbers, going to confession, joining Bible studies and young adult groups, and also asking serious questions about their faith. And this gives me tremendous hope for the future of the church. This summer has only strengthened that hope. Serving at St. Isidore and in Alliance in Sebring has been one of the greatest blessings of my formation. Every parish I've been in has its own traditions and personality, but everywhere I've gone, I've met people who love their parish and want to serve their community. At St. Isidore, it's been inspiring to see a parish continuing to grow together after bringing two communities into one parish family. Change is never easy, but I've seen people working together with generosity and faith to build something strong for future generations. In Alliance and Sebring, I've experienced that same welcoming spirit. Whether I'm just serving at Mass, helping with parish events, visiting parishioners, or simply talking with people after church, I've learned that ministry isn't really about programs, it's about the people. Some of the most meaningful moments this summer haven't happened during a big event. They've happened after Mass when someone wanted to share a story, while visiting with someone who simply appreciated having company, or while helping with a parish activity where people came together not because they had to, but because they wanted to serve. These moments remind me that service often looks very ordinary. It doesn't always involve grand gestures. Sometimes it's showing up. Sometimes it's listening. Sometimes it's giving your time without expecting anything in return. I think that sounds a lot like Rotary, doesn't it? Every one of you has chosen to invest your time and talents to make the Louisville community stronger. You probably don't do it for the recognition. You do it because you know someone will benefit from your efforts. And I think that's exactly what service above self means. Jesus taught his disciples that true greatness is not found in being served, but in serving others. That lesson isn't just for priests or religious people, it is for all of us. Whether we're volunteering, raising a family, mentoring a young person, comforting a neighbor, or helping someone in need, we're making a difference. One thing I've learned during seminary is that leadership begins with service. I have found that the best leaders aren't the ones who seek attention. They're the ones willing to put others first, and I think that's true in the church, in the Rotary Club, in our families, and in every community. As I continue discerning the priesthood, I hope to live a life centered on that kind of service. If God calls me to become a priest, I know my job won't simply be celebrating Mass, it will be walking with people through every stage of life, celebrating baptisms and weddings, comforting families during times of loss, visiting the sick, teaching the faith, and helping people encounter Christ. At its heart, the priesthood is about serving others. I would like to leave you with one final thought today. The world often tells us that success is measured by how much we achieve, how much we earn, or how many people know our name. But I think both the Rotary Club and the gospel offer a different perspective. A successful life is measured by how we've loved others and how we've served them. Every one of us has the opportunity to leave our community better than we found it. Sometimes that happens through big projects and sometimes through small acts of kindness that no one else ever sees. But every act of service matters. Thank you for all that you do for Louisville and the surrounding communities. Thank you for living out service above self each and every day. And thank you for allowing me to share a little bit about my journey and my experience this summer. Please keep me and all my other fellow seminarians in your prayers as we continue discerning God's call, and please be assured that I will keep all of you in mind. Thank you, and God bless. Yeah, is there any questions? So a normal Monday, okay? I will wake up about 6 a.m. or so. We start the day with morning prayer in the chapel at 7:30. I normally say some personal prayers before that, maybe have a cup of coffee or granola bar or something. And then we have at 7:30, we will have morning prayer, and then we will transition right from morning prayer into Mass. So it starts about 7:50 or so right there in the chapel. Then we're normally done about 8:15, 8:30 at the latest, somewhere around there. And then we'll go down to breakfast, you don't have to. I mean, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And then after that, everybody's day kind of looks different. Like for me this past year on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I would commute to John Carroll. So I would drive, it's about 20 minutes or so from the seminary. I would drive and I would take classes from about 9:30 to till 1 or so. Then I'd be back around 1:30 and I'd normally do some studying, take a nap sometimes, just hang out. Normally, I don't know, some guys want to run out to the store or something like that. And then at 5:40, we all come back together in the chapel for evening prayer. And that goes until about 6 o'clock or so. And then at 6 o'clock, we will go eat dinner. And then normally after dinner, you're free for the rest of the evening. I mean, occasionally there'll be a formation event on a Tuesday evening or something going on out of the ordinary. But for the most part, after dinner, we're normally pretty free, except one day of the week, we're all assigned an apostolate. So we go out and do service in the community. So this past year, I was able to go to St. Malachi's, which is a church on the west side of Cleveland, and I was able to give meal to the hungry. So that was a really good experience for me. And yeah, that's basically what a normal life looks like. It's kind of like a normal college schedule, just there's a lot of prayer built into it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Two questions.
Yes.
First one is, how do you address your fellow seminarians?
Seminarians? Yeah.
Is it brother in Christ or, I mean?
Just like Dom, like, hey Dom, this. Yeah, no, I mean they refer to us as like brothers if like they're talking like as in a group setting, like talking to all of us. But normally it's just like normal conversation when I'm talking to somebody else or something like that.
To
Yeah.
be fair, I asked you the same question about how I introduced you.
Yeah, no, it's perfectly fine. Yeah. What was your second question?
When you say study, I'm just curious, this is a religious standpoint. Do you like study chapters of the gospel or?
So right now I am in undergraduate program, so I'm a college student. So I just kind of take right now, there are certain classes that you're required to take. So like in the first semester, I took Old Testament class and then moral theology, but you needed to have about 30 credits a semester or so, and that only took up about 10. So then the rest you can just find whatever classes you want to take. So just to meet the requirements to graduate college through the university. So I'm actually getting a minor in communication. So taking some of those classes, and my major is philosophy. Well, I'm glad. Thank you. Yeah, I am a sports broadcaster and a PA announcer at John Carroll University as well. So yes, sir.
Hey, Lou, do you have a favorite saint that has influenced your journey and discernment?
For sure. Yes.
Who is it and why?
My favorite saint is Pope St. John Paul II. He was recently canonized, probably about 15 years ago or so. I have a relic of his in my room, and I have a nice statue and a picture of him. And what I really like about him is his sense of forgiveness, that he was shot and he was there was an attempted assassination. And instead of being angry and upset, and like I probably would have been, he went to prison to meet the guy that shot him. And so I think that level of forgiveness right there really is something that I take to heart and kind of to motto around for my life, that we always need to forgive, because like Jesus tells us, if we don't forgive others, we cannot expect to be forgiven in return. So that has really touched my heart, how he did that.
Great.
You're welcome. Yes, sir.
What are the requirements for sainthood? Because Mother Teresa is now being looked at for sainthood.
Mother Teresa is indeed a saint. She was canonized with Pope John Paul II probably about 10 or 15 years ago.
What did I just read?
Maybe you were reading about Servant of God Rhoda Wise, maybe, here in the Canton area. She's on the track. She's from Canton. She's on the track to become a saint, hopefully. Yeah, she's at the first stage of that right now. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What do I know?
What is your favorite?
Probably, Peter, I give you the keys, and on this rock, you will build my church. Just because it's kind of the foundation that I stand on right now. I'm all for the church and stuff, and without that verse right there, I'm not here right now. So I think that's been sticking with me pretty recently. Any other questions?
How many years does it take to become a priest?
So it really just depends when you enter. So some guys enter with a college degree already. So then they would only have to do 2 years of what's called pre-theology, and then they will go into graduate school. So anywhere from like 6 to 9 years or so. It just depends when you enter. Yes. Anywhere right here. Yes.
I was gonna ask, you were talking about your degree path.
Yes.
The seminary that you are in, for the typical person that is going in, if they're following your path, is there a specific college you should go to, or they have to be associated with the Catholic Church? And what level of education do you have to?
So, in the situation I am in at Borromeo Seminary, they have a partnership with John Carroll University. So that's where all the students that are receiving their undergraduate there go. Now, I can't speak about all of the other seminaries across America. I don't fully know what their program is, but at the end of it, I will have a master's degree. So maybe 2. We'll see. We'll see how much I want to do school when we get there. Yes, that's where I'll get my master's degree at. Yeah, so yes, no matter what. Yeah, you don't have to enter. You don't have to enter the college route like I did. Like there's some people I'm friends with who are in seminary and they have a biomedical degree. Just have different degrees that went to different colleges like Kent State, Dayton, just around here, and then decided that they wanted to enter afterwards and go into just the master's program. But the way I'm doing it, it's like about 2 years shorter in total when you get to the end. Is there any other questions? Right here, Cynthia, please.
How many seminarians are in the diocese?
There are 8 of us, and like Bishop Bonner likes to say, we're small but mighty. So, yes.
Is there like an increase now in the priesthood where before it was declining? Is it like?
Yeah, I think that maybe not necessarily right here at home in our diocese, but I think in the broader church in America, but especially in the globe, around the globe, that I think it is kind of booming right now. Like I just spoke with the missionary priest about 2 weeks ago from Kenya, and he told me that their seminaries over there, they don't have enough room for everybody that is like out the doors, that they can't accommodate everybody that wants to come in. So obviously that's a really good problem to have. But so yeah, I think in total around the world, I think that that the numbers are jumping. And just this past year at Easter, there was a record number of Catholics that came into the church in Northeast Ohio and in the rest of the world. So yeah, I think there's good signs, and I think there's a lot of good signs.
For me, I mean, Pope Leo has really been a blessing.
Yes.
I think he's really added.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, I think that he is trying his best to keep the ship going on the straight path, which is pretty difficult to do. And yes, I think that he's doing a good job trying to connect with the young people and the younger communities, because ultimately that's the foundation right now. Is got to start young and hopefully progress into full members of the church. Any other questions?
Where'd you go to high school?
I went to Chippewa High School in Doylestown. My dad's been teaching there for about 35 years or so. And I'm also from Canal Fulton, so just the other side of Stark County, not too far away. Yes, Tristan.
Why do you think there's so many young people going back to the
Because I think that they're realizing that you can't find that to find true fulfillment is in Jesus Christ, and that is the only thing that'll truly give you fulfillment. Because you can keep doing something, hoping that it fulfills you, but just use like alcohol for say. So you keep drinking stuff like that, but it's like never enough. Then like the next night you're gonna want to do the same thing again. And then the next night you're gonna want to do the same thing. It's never enough. But in Jesus, you truly can find fulfillment, and I know I have. So I know it's possible. I've found fulfillment. So thank you. Any other questions?
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Luke, for that. Now we move into the section where we do gambling. Yeah. So we are we're gonna do Rotoball now.
As a visitor, would you mind pulling out one of our tickets for today? You know to pull out. Grab one in.
Well, you gave me?
Yeah, not that one. His own. What's the name on it?
Cynthia.
Of course. Wins every week. All right. Try to find the right marble now.
Don't do that again. Notice that too.
Here we go, look out, Cindy.
$20.
$1,000.
Don't lose it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, don't worry. She'll win next week and try again. Okay. Yeah, Randy, what's it up to?
$220.
Okay, everybody. Let me think if there's anything else before we leave here. I don't believe that there is. Luke, if you could stick around, we'd like to get your picture of our speakers before you leave. Other than that, we're adjourned.